Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is directed by Wes Ball, the director of the Maze Runner trilogy, and this is the fourth of the Planet of the Apes reboot franchise, and it's a new set of a trilogy, and it's the 10th film in this overall Planet of the Apes franchise. The film takes place 300 years after the events of War of the Planet of the Apes, and it follows a young chimpanzee named Noah who embarks on a journey alongside a human woman named Mia to mine the future for apes and humans alike. When it comes to the Planet of the Apes trilogy, or even the franchise as a whole, I remember watching the original Planet of the Apes film back when I was really young. I watched it, and it's been a long time I watched it, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really impressive film, and the original for its ideas, and it spawned to many sequels, which I haven't seen. I might give them a watch some point. They're on Disney Plus, so I might give them a watch. And of course, we had the 2001 Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, which was... let's just say it's not that good. I'll just put that in the most politeful way to say that. I'll just say it in the most respectful way. It's not that good. Then out comes the 2011 reboot prequel trilogy called Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And for that film came out, everyone's a lot of skepticism. A lot of people thought, really? Are we doing that? But it came out as a huge surprise, and it was a really well made film. And it's definitely a good setup with that trilogy along with Dawn and War, which both are masterful films. In their own right, they're both brilliant movies. If you haven't seen those trilogies, watch them. They're really good. And now with this one, with this a new trilogy, with a new director on board and a new cast, I was kind of excited, but at the same time I was kind of skeptical on it, because how are they going to follow up with that one? How are they going to do it without Andy Serkis? So it's kind of exciting, but also nerve-wracking, because you don't know how it's going to turn out. But like with other films, I'm very optimistic with this one. Pleased to say, this is a really solid, good time. I think it's a really solid movie. By all means, it's not a perfect movie. We'll get to the negatives a little bit, because there are some few things in there I'm not a big fan of. But this is a really solid, good time. And it does set up a new trilogy. It definitely has some promising stuff going for it. Let me just say, the motion capture effect in those movies, like this one, perfectly well done. It's well blended with the apes' fur, the details on their face, the expressions, even the actors playing those characters, like Noah, who's the main character of the film. All of them looked amazing. I think every animator did with these furs and everything, the details on the face, the eyes and the expressions, spot on. There's no one bit it looks fake. It looks so real. They look like real chimpanzees. And the cinematography here is absolutely beautiful, located shots, some really nice details, and really catches that same spirit as the past trilogy, and it definitely catches that same feeling here. The biggest praise I had to give this is Wes Ball, who does an amazing job directing this film. After what he did with the Maze Runner trilogy, I've only seen the first two. I've never seen Death Cure, which I've not watched yet. I might rewatch the Maze Runner trilogy again, because I haven't seen it for a long time. It's been a while I watched it. For what I know, and for what I've seen from his directing, from these action scenes from those movies, I thought that was really good. And he brought it here, but with a bigger scale and a bigger scope of things. Just honestly done a good job catching that spirit of that original movies, and also that past trilogy before. It captures that same feeling. All the characters are likable, like they were, all great. Noah, who is perfectly played by Owen Teague, who's great as Noah. He's a great character. He's definitely one of the most likable characters throughout. Really, I think it's set up his character. He's basically the new Caesar. Well, he's not really Caesar, but he does have that strong potential to become that new main focus of the character. And I really like the performance of Proximus Caesar, played by Kevin Durand. I think he does a fantastic job. Even though he's not in the movie that much, but you do see him, his performance is captivating and also really, really menacing, but also has that presence to him, which I really give that overall performance. He deserves an Oscar for that performance overall. I think that's probably the best thing. Another character I really like is Raka, played by Peter Macon, who is basically the Maurice character from the past trilogy, which I've mentioned before. He really has a wise wisdom, but he does bring some of that humour into this film, this light heart to it, which I really appreciated. Even though he's not in the movie that much, but when we see him, he was a really fun character. Even though he was in it more often, but that being said, he's just a fun character, and he was there he was there. Of course, Freya Allan as new Nova character named Mia, who is such a fun, but yet it's a strong, independent woman, but also she's really timid, but also shy, but also knows she's the more intelligent of the humans of them all. As far as the overall score, it was actually brilliant. I really like the score of the music. It's really captivating, but also really moving to listen to certain scenes and certain characters in certain moments. The action scenes overall are fun to watch. There's so many great action scenes. Even though there's not much, but it does introduce some of the characters, but the action is there. I will say this movie is not perfect. There's definitely some issues with the film, especially when it comes to the pacing of the film, because the pacing, well, the first beginning of the film is more like setting up the story. It does take a really while to get to set up the story, but it does have that build up to it, and it does take its time. When it does kick in, it does kick in. After that, it kind of dropped on me on the second act because it did drag with certain stuff in the second act. It did feel like it dragged on a few things. I kind of feel like, okay, can we pick up the pace a little bit? It's starting to get a little bit unfocused. I had so much time focusing on that scene or certain aspects. I feel like the editing is pacing is not fluid from that second act. I feel like it's just drags. It just felt like it just doesn't really pick up speed, but it does pick up just the end of the second act, beginning of the third act. It does pick up gradually, so I give some applause for that, and I do appreciate it. And for the majority of the film, I was entertained by this movie. I wasn't like wowed by it. It doesn't have that strong emotional punch like Dawn or even War to a certain degree, because they're both masterful films. This one is more like a setting up a new trilogy. It does have some promises where the trilogy is going with this character like Noah, where his character is going this route. The final bit in the film, which when the final trailer came up before the film released, I didn't see it, I didn't watch it because I don't want to spoil it for myself, because I've been told by other people they did spoil some bits in the end, which thankfully I didn't do that, because if I watched that, then I feel like, oh, okay, why you put it in the trailer? That's pointless to me. That being said though, I do think this is a really, really well made film, and I do respect this film for what it was trying to do. It's still a good time. I think it's what it was trying to achieve on this new trilogy to set up, but I do feel like they could have done a little bit more of the characters with certain aspects. To some purposes, I think this has a promising start. Despite the pacing issue and despite the story trying to sell it really well, and if Wes Ball wants to come back direct the sequels, I'm all for it. Go for it if he's up for it, because I can totally see it from that point of view. Or bring a new director to come in and change it up a little bit. Whatever they want to do with this new trilogy or what they want to set up, I'm all for it. Go for it. I'm excited to see this. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. I wouldn't call it the best film of the year. But I would say this has a really promising, but yet has a new, hopeful, but spiritual. I'm looking forward to see where this trilogy is going. Despite my issues with it, I'm excited to see where this is going. I'm going to give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes a B+. Guys, I do recommend you checking this out. And of course, comment down below. Tell me what you think of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Do you love it? Do you like it? Or do you think it's alright? Whatever the case is, comment down below. Tell me what you think. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and hit that icon bell for future videos to see more like this. Until next time, see ya!